Caitlin Clark endured discrimination on the court for weeks, yet the WNBA said nothing. The fans were furious. Analysts avoided discussing the problem. Then there was no more silence. The best players in the NBA, not the WNBA. The press team did not make these courteous remarks or shout-outs. This voice was free-spirited and honest. LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, and others weren't just complimenting her performance. They were protecting her from what they had seen firsthand. Steph in particular had had enough. He heard the quiet, saw the blows. And when he did speak, the basketball community heard what he had to say. When a well-known someone like Curry challenges Caitlin's use as a punching bag in public, and everyone notices, he wasn't alone at all. The All-Star stated on television that Caitlin Clark is not a flash in the pan after at least 6 NBA games. That a player of her caliber is being unfairly singled out is unacceptable. Some of these things might surprise you. The unedited, word-for-word comments made by some of the NBA's best players. In this place, NBA players typically only show affection to one another. Consequently, most people anticipated. When questioned about Caitlin Clark, the league's smoothest two-way player and All-Star winner, Pascal Siakam, stated, "Perhaps something shallow and safe." Pascal, however, did not use caution when questioned about which player is most loved. He said he suddenly mentioned Caitlin Clark, not just in passing, not as a polite nod, but as someone who he claimed that it was on par with NBA players.
Man, Caitlin she's a beast, man. Like, and they love her. So I'll probably say Caitlin Clark. I love Tyrese, but she's another level in terms of just.
Consider it. She wasn't being compared to WNBA players by him. She was being compared to Tyrese Halliburton by him. One of the most interesting point guards in the NBA, Caitlin was receiving the most affection, according to Pascal. That is not merely admiration. It's an acknowledgement. For those who still insist that the WNBA functions in a vacuum, that acts as a reminder of reality. When someone's name is brought up in conversations meant for the NBA elite, you can tell that they have a big impact. Anyone may have been chosen by Siakam. However, he accompanied Caitlin Clark. It's not a headline, that's a change. Pascal is encouraging, as are the other males. And it demonstrates that Caitlin has overcome the imperceptible barrier separating leagues. He didn't need to express it. However, He Did at IT also provides you with all the information. There are some unclear statements made by Obi Toppin, despite not being well known. His remark on Caitlin Clark stands out in lengthy talks or dramatic soundbites. IT was not polished. However, it was truthful. Additionally, it has a bigger impact than any pre-written PR phrase in today's media landscape. Obi plays with vigor, flair, and confidence, but when he discusses Caitlin Clark, his tone shifts. When someone goes above and beyond the box score, you ought to show them appreciation instead of just respect.
Caitlin's amazing. Super amazing. She's a great player. Having her be courtside and watching our games is awesome. We see the excitement that she has on the side, but just like she's doing that, we do the same. Like when they're playing, like it's so much. It's a joy.
What sticks out is the satire, not the words. Caitlin from OBC and the WNBA as equals, not as an afterthought or as inferior. They celebrate their victories, just like NBA players do. This reciprocal energy is important and uncommon. Seeing Caitlin Clark courtside and knowing that the NBA players genuinely care is pleasant. Saying something similar. Well, a celebrity appeared, but that's insufficient. IT is a genuine friendship of gratitude and basketball. What Obi said is devoid of. Gonna go viral. Even though it doesn't make the news, it suggests something more significant. As a player for women's basketball, Caitlin's reputation has changed. She's a hooper. Disregard it. When NBA players begin referring to you as though you are one of, you've already become a part of their universe. Giving a cliche to a teammate is an easy way to support them. Thumb up. She is incredible. Her proficiency is astounding. That sort of thing. However, Tyrese Halliburton made a different choice. Given that they both live in the same city, he did more than simply promote Caitlin Clark. He didn't give her a compliment since. It was the appropriate PR strategy, his closeness to her, his familiarity with her, and his observation of the daily. His ideas were inspired by the tempest she has been enduring without flinching. She is...
I think for me, getting to actually spend time around her, be around her, get to know her personally, she's just an amazing person, an amazing player. She deals with a lot there's a lot of rhetoric behind her that she really has no control over. And I think that the way she handles that is just amazing. Like, I think when it comes to the game of basketball, like, she's probably top 5 most famous people that are playing right now, just in general. That includes
LeBron, Steph, Jokic, and NBA All-Star Tyrese are talking about Caitlin Clark in the 5 most famous periods. Out of reality, not out of hype, he keeps an eye on the stats, the media cacophony, and the fervor of the supporters. He is familiar with the experience of working as a franchise agent. Additionally, he is aware of Caitlin's. With something considerably more challenging as a sophomore, moreover, his remarks are devoid of humanity. He is standing up for her not just as, both as a person and as a player. Tyrese is drawing attention to the abuse, coercion, and ridiculousness that she did not desire. Caitlin Clark is ready. The sports world recalibrates when LeBron James speaks rather than merely listens. Every word is examined. Every delay is examined. When the individual who has spent the last 20 years playing basketball chooses to comment, that's what takes place. His critique of Caitlin Clark was therefore more than just lighthearted. It was a passionate proposal with a deeper significance, point one that got straight through the cacophony and reaction.
To the heart of this athletic event.
Everybody is looking for you to say anything, and they're going to splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. And I think for her, the one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. They flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right.
LeBron is supporting progress in general as well as Caitlin Clark. He has witnessed what she has gone through. It's not simply media pressure. It's a change in culture. He understands what it's like to be the impetus behind a league's decision to go private. That goes beyond the past. It's a legacy move. He's been there, the target on your back. The standards, as well as everything else that he may see a part of himself in Caitlin because of this. She gained LeBron's admiration in addition to his respect, and that's a totally different kind of compliment. To predict a 3-point game against one of the most anticipated teams requires a certain level of confidence. Shooters worldwide. Being the one to make the request gives you even more self-assurance. Trae Young walks in. Trae, known for his audacious demeanor and passionate outbursts, has never been shy. However, when he discusses Caitlin, his tone changes slightly. Clark, still playful and self-assured, but with a clear sense of thankfulness. This goes beyond just one great shooter enhancing another. Peer recognition is done in real time, of superior quality.
About Steph and Sabrina. I know that you have spoken about Caitlin Clark. You're a big Caitlin Clark fan.
Oh, yeah.
She, of course, is an excellent shooter. Would you ever do like a Caitlin Trae 3-point contest at All-Star?
Of course I would. I've gotten to talk to her too throughout her college years. We're the only 2 people that ever led college in points and assists. That's a crazy stat. I'd have to definitely practice a lot more than I have for these previous 3-point competitions. Nah, I'd be ready for sure.
To begin with, just 2 players in NCAA history have led the country in both assists and points in just one season. The reality is unpleasant. It's royalty in basketball. Additionally, Trae's remarks regarding her are not patronizing, it's real. It is a heartfelt homage to a talented artist from a different era. He's not acting like he would prevail in that gunfight. He acknowledges that further repetitions would be necessary. That is the ultimate degree of reverence. Caitlin takes part in more than just the conversation. She is the subject of conversation. Young is ready to compete head-to-head or share the spotlight. Paul George is not a frivolous artist. He doesn't speak in order to be influential. IT will enable you to view things more clearly. Obviously. Additionally, he offered one of the most insightful opinions about Caitlin Clark that we have heard. Any player in the NBA, he didn't start praising right away. He didn't beat. To provide context, he zoomed out. Unlike the highlight video, viral fouls, or all-time shooting numbers that have dominated most discussions concerning Kate,
You got to put it in perspective, right? These girls have been grinding to grow the game of basketball in the WNBA. They've been grinding to grow the sport to the world, the viewerships. They've been grinding for all of this. And then you have this girl that comes along from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league. There's going to be girls that are offended by it.
Caitlin is not insulted by it. That serves as a depressing reminder of the change in culture. Paul George doesn't even challenge her brilliance. He is actually confirming that by referring to her as having undergone an immediate metamorphosis. However, he is also admitting something. We don't discuss it enough, the psychological damage it causes to the women who started the nonprofit. The veterans who supported charter planes, played in abandoned gyms, and were never photographed. They worked just as hard as Caitlin, but they did not get the same benefits. When someone walks in, it hurts. And even if she earned it, immediately becomes the league's face. Paul George did not defend the animosity, but he did humanize it. And by doing this, he demonstrated to us the depth of this moment. Caitlin is not just the primary attraction, she is the focal point of a change that affects everyone. Luka Doncic expresses his opinions and goals. You can tell he is direct if you have watched him play or speak. In particular, no filter, no further polish. Thus, his response to a straightforward query about women's basketball carried more weight. There was no reluctance or fake diplomacy.